I'm David Farah. I'd like to thank Dan not only for the introduction and the poem, but for all those years of work he's done to keep Alexi mobile and walking. We're the only patients here, and we're also the eldest here by far, almost certainly. So I'm going to tell you what to expect as you get older. At the age of 37, which is the median age in the United States, you will start to notice that most people you meet are younger than you. At the age of 40, you will see your first gray hair, and you will have to decide whether you will pluck it out, color it, or let it go natural. At the age of 49 and a half, you get an AARP card in the mail.
Yes.
And you curse the darkness. And then you find out that it's good for 15% discount at Denny's, so you sneak it back into your home. At the age of 50, you get morning stiffness. At the age of 55, you get 50% off at Regal Theaters. And you get upset because they don't card you. At the age of 60, you retire. And the next day, your credit score drops 100 points because you're now unemployed. Plus, the legal value of your life plummets because you have no future earnings. At the age of 62, if you're wise, you start to draw Social Security because if you die, it stops and you don't get it retroactively. So start to draw it. At the age of 65, you collect Medicare. Laminate the card because you will be using it a lot. At the age of 70, you can stop going to jury duty simply by signing your name on a piece of paper. At the age of 75, you lose your...
short-term memory.
Thank you. At the age of 80, you're taking so many pills that you have to have them in pill containers separated by the time of day. At the age of 90, you have outlived all of your family and most of the people that you knew more than 20 years earlier. The remainder are in assisted living facilities and don't remember who you are. At the age of 100, you get a letter from the federal government, supposedly signed by the president, congratulating you on being a drain on Social Security and Medicare. Somewhere in there, depending on the age of your physician, you will notice that you are being treated differently than you used to be. Here are some examples from Alexi's in my life. In 2015, my husband went to a urologist at Healthcare Partners for an enlarged prostate. The urologist told Alexi that he needed a laser procedure. I asked if it would affect Alexi's sexual function. The urologist replied in front of my husband that most men his age don't care. Oh, I replied, I care, I'm not married to your wife. In 2016, my husband was having so much... You like that one, right? Do you know the urologist I'm talking about? He was a shitty urologist, but he had the best hair. Anyway, in 2016, my husband was having so much problem from degenerative arthritis. He's lost 6 inches in height from degenerative arthritis. He was having so much problems that I took him to see 3 orthopedic surgeons and 1 neurosurgeon. 2 wouldn't touch him. 1 said he would refer him to his partner who would put rods up and down his back and probably make it worse. The other one at CAC told me in front of my husband, well, you know, everyone has an expiration date. I replied, my husband is not a can of corn. We walked out. I went to his primary care, also at CAC, and I said I wanted a referral to pain clinic. His primary care said, he's not bad enough for pain clinic. Fortunately, I did not need a referral, that's Medicare, and scheduled him myself. Since then, Alexi has had, at pain clinic, 9 ablations, 3 mild procedures, various injections, and is scheduled to have an intercept procedure in 2 weeks. And, Dan, as of today, he is still walking, but would not be if I merely relied on the good graces. Yes. If I relied on the good graces of 3 orthopedic surgeons, 1 neurosurgeon, and his primary care. Last year, I took my husband to a physician who asked me, literally, what do you expect me to do? I replied, I expect you to treat Alexi like he was your elderly father who scrimped and saved to put you through medical school and now needs help. And I added, we are not here for a social visit. You're not that interesting. Here's a good one that happened to me. One of my CAC physicians left and I was referred to the head of one of your departments, who I won't identify because you know who the gentleman is, who saw me for the first time and told me to my face, I've got patients who are far worse off than you, and they don't even know they have a problem. What the fuck? If they don't know they have a problem, what are they doing in your office? What did you do? Go out on the street, grab a bunch of people, bring them into your office, say, you don't know you have a problem. It's a good thing I saw you and brought you in here. Before you look upon us with pity, I point out that I would not trade my life for yours at all. I don't need to complete my education, find a job, put away savings, find a spouse, argue for 3 years with my spouse before realizing it's not worth it, find a house, pay for a house, remodel the house, or any of the other tedious chores I've done for the past 45 years. That's not the moral of the story. The moral of the story instead is that you have to have an advocate as you grow old, particularly for your medical care. Medicine is a for-profit business. Any medical professional you see sees another 10 to 20 patients that day and barely remembers you 5 minutes after he or she leaves you. Medicine is not altruistic. It suffers from the same prejudices in society as society in general. Don't believe me, just get old.